Hi guys, welcome back to our channel. In case you're new here, my name is Maren.
And I'm Maureen.
Yeah, so in today's episode, I think I'm excited about this episode because the common question we normally get on our comment section, for those who don't know, is where did white people originate from? Yeah. And the closest explanation people normally have is that Caucasians originated from the Caucasus Mountains.
Yeah.
But
most of us also ask, how did Caucasians get into the Caucasus Mountain? Like, before Caucasus Mountain, where were they, So in today's video, we're going to try and address this issue.
Well, not us, but we found a sister on TikTok. She's called Anya Hekard. I think I'm gonna leave her handles for TikTok on the description box, so that those who want to be educated more about this, because she specializes in this, can go and check her out on TikTok. So Anya Hekard, thank you so much for the video. And in this video, she tries and explains this in details, and I feel like this is the most explanation that makes sense, because if you look at people like Jane Elliott, I think that one we are going to come back and discuss after the video, but right now let's just watch it and we come back and talk about it. If you have anything to say, kindly leave it on the comment section, and
also remember to subscribe if you've not subscribed to our video. So let's watch the video and then we come back and talk about it.
My guy. So someone asked if I could do a video on Neanderthals, and I think I already did this video like twice already in the past, but I'll just do it again. Alright, so as y'all should know, scientists have found a new DNA called the Neanderthal DNA. And them finding out this DNA just proved that the stories of the Bible are actually true. See, if y'all have read the book of Enoch, y'all will see how Neanderthals came to be. The Enoch book is a lost book of the Bible. And there's also many, and I mean many, books that have been taken out of the Bible. But if you read the book of Enoch, it will tell you how Neanderthals came to be and where this Neanderthal DNA came from. Also, scientists also tells you that every race contains Neanderthal DNA, except for one race, African modern descendants, aka black people. Scientists don't even realize that they're proving even more why black people are actually the true Hebrew Israelites of the Bible, the real Jews. One of the scientists was also caught saying that African modern descendants are actually the pure humans of the world. And that's not coming from me. They said that. And also, if you read the Bible, you will actually know that black people were the first creation. And no, this video isn't about race baiting or anything. It's all about telling the truth. So the Neanderthals came from giants, and the giants came from Nephilims, and the Nephilims came from the fallen angels. See, the Bible speaks about that the fallen angels were supposed to be protecting the humans, but instead they began to fancy them, and they began to do sexual activities with the women and men. And when the fallen angels began to have sexual activity with the men and women, they created their own offsprings, called Nephilims. And when the Nephilims began to have children, they created the giants, like those of Goliath. And when the giants began to have kids, they created Neanderthals. See, when the fallen angels began to lay with the men and women, the humans, they created these different type of beings, which is sort of half human and half fallen angel. It mixed up the two DNAs. See, the Neanderthal skin couldn't be exposed to the sun, so they had to move to a colder climate. And guess where that was? AKA the Caucasus Mountains, which is where they got the word Caucasians from. See, these Neanderthal skin grew lighter and lighter, which created the lighter skin pigmentation, which a lot of these races and ethnicities carry till this day. That's why you will see till this day that a lot of people will say that the whiter skin pigmentation or the paler skins, that it's a mutation, because everyone in the world was melanated at one point. That's why it's kind of crazy when I be seeing people argue about which land is theirs. This is our land. This is our land. Y'all don't even realize that all these lands originally started with all black people on them. Every Afro person in every part of anybody's land, Afro-Hispanics, Afro-Palestinians, wherever you are, any Afro person is the original people of that land. And it's crazy because black people get done the worst anywhere they go. And y'all don't even realize that that's really your land. But like I said in another video, y'all don't understand that was one of the curses put upon us all as a people, along with many more curses. And this video was just about telling everybody the truth. I love you all, and let the truth set you free.
Neanderthals may be extinct, but they live on in us. In a slice of human origins that never ceases to take my breath away, Homo sapiens, that's you and me, were not the only species of humans who once roamed planet Earth. We're merely the ones who survived. In fact, while the numbers are always in flux, there were approximately 15 separate species of humans, several of which once lived side by side. Our closest extinct human relatives are the Neanderthals, which evolved long before us and lived in Europe, well before we ever left Africa and migrated into their territory. By the time we got to Europe, just over 40,000 years ago, Neanderthals had been successfully living there for more than 200,000 years. Compared to modern humans, Neanderthals adapted to survive in colder climates. They were stockier, with shorter legs, bigger bodies, larger noses, and jutting foreheads, and their brains were even larger than ours. Far from their depiction as cliched cavemen, Neanderthals used sophisticated tools, cooked and warmed themselves with fire, lived in shelters, made and wore clothing, hunted large animals, and made art and jewelry. There's even evidence that Neanderthals buried their dead and marked their graves with flowers and other offerings. When Neanderthals and Homo sapiens began competing for the same resources, Neanderthals were displaced, unable to compete, and went extinct. Climate change probably played a huge part too. While it was once thought that Neanderthals and Homo sapiens couldn't breed, we now know the opposite is true. Neanderthal DNA shows up in about 1 to 4% of the modern Eurasian genome. The DNA doesn't lie. Interbreeding occurred. And here's the coolest part. There's more Neanderthal DNA on Earth right now than there was when Neanderthals were around. Scientists estimate that the total number of Neanderthals probably only numbered a few 100,000. There are about 7.7 billion Homo sapiens alive today. That means that there's more Neanderthal DNA in the world today by a factor of more than 1,000. Stay curious, my friends.
So guys, welcome back. Would really like to know what you guys think about the videos we just played you on the comment section. So moving on to the first sister, Anya Hekard, and
in her own view, in her own view, Anya says that Neanderthals were a product of fallen angels who slept with human beings, and she says that white people are a product of Neanderthals.
And it said that Neanderthals DNA is found in every other race except from the black race, from black people.
And according to Anya, she also says that black DNA, especially those originating from Africa, are the oldest form of DNA on Earth
and the purest. So guys, I don't know what you think about this episode, but personally I feel like what Anya says, I feel like it makes a lot of sense, because according to other explanations we've listened to, someone like Jen Elliott, right? According to Jen Elliott's explanation of Caucasian people, she says that Caucasian became the way they are and different from black people because as we all know, life began in Africa. So according to Elliott,
white Americans and European people, they migrated from Africa and they kept going to the upper parts of the world. And as they moved up, their skin complexion started changing, hence adapting to their environment.
And she also credits this kind of changes, their eye color, to the same, because they were moving up from where the equator is, from where the sun is concentrated, that is Africa, moving up. Now this is Jen Elliott's theory, right? And she further says that people, what contributes to the pigmentation of the eye and the hair color, she says, is what people ingest, right? And she argues black people in Africa is what we eat that makes us have heavily melanated, have the color of hair we have, and the texture and the eyes. And she says white people look the way they do because of what they eat.
The only problem with Jen Elliott's theory, it's still leaves a lot of questions more than how it answers people's questions. And these questions are, for me as an African listening to her theory, okay, white people turned white because of climatic changes and stuff like that. What of the aboriginals who existed in America with those same white people? Why did they never lose their melanin and become white themselves? You know, so it still leaves holes that can be punched in her story. So that hence, for me, I regard Anya's theory to be more closely to the truth than Jane Elliott's theory.
Right, and you guys, I know a lot of people are not going to be happy about this because of what Anya says, that Neanderthals are as a result of humans and fallen angels. So a lot of people are not gonna like this, So we keep on doing research, and you guys, let us know what you think about this on the comment section.
Yeah, and also if you're a curious person like us who goes around looking for videos like this, just let us know what you stumbled upon in your research.
So these Neanderthals, they knew how to make sophisticated tools. They could hunt animals that were very, very large. They knew how to make shelters, much as others lived in caves, and they also made ornaments, you know. So you see, these early forms of humans had their own brains, so to speak. So this brings me to the next point, which I want to ask, you know, like literally, where did the idea that when colonization was happening, when they were going to colonize the communities they were going to colonize, where did the idea of uncivilization come from? Them perpetuating the idea that the communities they found there were uncivilized, the communities they found there that didn't have a system, the communities that they found there did not have educational systems. And I do believe for these people to have survived during those times, even these earlier years where colonization happened, for the people to survive how they did, it's because they had their own knowledge, they had their own economical structures, they had their own educational structures. And I do believe also, you guys, have you ever heard of the saying that, it's not much as a saying, but it is a fact, that when white people are coming to Africa to colonize, it's known that they died because of the disease, they were contracting diseases. And also I think what played a good part into it is that the locals there had developed the immunity that they needed to be protected from these diseases. But also I do understand that they had their own medical system, you know, the traditional herbs that they used to make to help themselves, you know, protect themselves against these diseases. So those are people who don't sound like uncivilized people to me, uneducated people to me. The fact that they didn't have your kind of education does not mean that they didn't have a system at all. You understand? So you guys, I don't know, let us know what you think about this episode. It has been fun hanging out with you,
and you can also please consider subscribing to this video if you have not. And we'll see you on our next episode.